Have you ever realized how many great retro games there are that are sequels? Like, I mean, seriously, think about it. Let's go back to the 90s for a second. What was that one sequel everyone seemed to play despite no one even touching the first one? Mega Man 2. Like, I swear, every kid was playing this for some reason despite the first one having such a mixed reception at the start of its release. The first one wasn't even bad either if the cover art wasn't just so atrocious. I mean, yeah, this doesn't affect the game, but you also gotta take into account that this was the 90s. People couldn't just look up game reviews online. So all you had to go off back then was either Nintendo Power or just unpacking the cover art.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
But I honestly think that makes it even more impressive how much of a success Mega Man 2 was to that. It was so good, you didn't even need the first one to help you out. Granted, the premise is really simple anyways, but you get my point. But let's just move on from that. There were a bunch of other games back then in the 90s. And you know what was a really popular fighting game back then? Street Fighter 2. That game had like 10 different versions. For a sequel. What was the original even called? Just Street Fighter? Was it good? I have no idea, but judging from this gameplay, it just makes me feel really sad. I don't know, it's just crazy that a sequel can carry a game to such great lengths, even if the first game is good. Another example of that is Ninja Gaiden on the NES, and its sequel was amazing. There was a lot less focus on the difficulty and more on the actual story and gameplay. Castlevania 2 was not that great actually. I know this doesn't help my theory, but shh. But now we move on to Super Mario Bros. And its sequel was definitely something. That's mostly because it had two, one that was basically the same thing but just fuck you. The other one being so off the walls, yet it worked. There's a whole reasoning for that which I went over as well as a bunch of other people, but it doesn't matter. All you gotta know is that Mario had a great sequel.
This one kinda sucks.
But now we move over to the third installment of a game. With any art media, a good sequel is definitely a wonderful surprise, but can a third one come out to make it the perfect trilogy? I already know movies struggle on that part. So for Mario's first game, Super Mario Bros., the game that quite literally saved the gaming industry when it first came out, you can't really call it a bad game, so it gets a pass there. Some people would argue that Lost Levels is not a good game. I think it's alright, but the official release for America was great, so that's another pass.
It's not even a real Mario game.
But now we move on over to the third game. The Mario series already had a hot streak going with the first two, so it was all eyes on Shigeru Miyamoto to deliver its final conclusion on the NES. If we look over at the other game's third installment, like Ninja Gaiden 3, it was pretty good, but the American release was horrible. Look, you know how there's a stigma on Japanese games being harder due to Mega Man 2 having a difficult mode, and Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels just existing?
He's just standing there, menacingly!
Well, guess what? Whilst the Japanese version had infinite restarts on Ninja Gaiden 3, the American one had 6. This game is like Lost Levels on steroids. Castlevania 3 is actually pretty good though. The best in the NES trilogy in my opinion, but its trilogy is still tainted by Simon's Quest just existing. Street Fighter 3 eventually came out a couple years later, but almost flopped because it was arcade only. In 1997, that was the year home consoles started taking a front in the gaming industry, so going full arcade was just not the trend anymore. Mega Man 3 was actually pretty good, but was seen as a disaster for the Mega Man team due to most of it being rushed at the end. Mega Man 3 was definitely a great game, but I can't agree with it having a lot of, well, rush. Just like if you play through the final few stages, it's just really not that interesting. So once Super Mario Bros. 2 was a huge success in America, Shigeru Miyamoto was determined to make the best Mario Bros. Game he could on the NES. Shigeru Miyamoto once said in an interview that it took about 7 people to make Super Mario Bros. 1, but for Super Mario Bros. 3 he planned to have at least 20 or 30 people working on the game. They would frequently come together to share different ideas on what to put in the game. One of those ideas was having a top-down or isometric view of the game, but it was quickly shoveled out due to depth perception being a little off. The idea wasn't completely removed from the game though, as the checkerboard you see in Super Mario Bros. 3 was actually the one they would use in the top-down version. Takashi Tezuka, the guy that originally made Lost Levels, wanted to create a whole new sprite sheet for the game since, in Japan, Super Mario Bros. 1 and 2 were very similar. Tezuka focused more on a bright and cartoonish art style for the game, which is why you'll see many background objects either having eyes or just dancing in place. The game would have a map system and would be separated in 8 different worlds, each having their own themes and castle at the end. Miyamoto also entertained the idea of Mario riding a dinosaur in this game, but sadly it was cut out due to technical difficulties. It was a good idea though, so instead, Tezuka compromised by having Mario turn into different animals using power-ups within the game. So it looks like Miyamoto's dream of Mario riding a dinosaur won't come true. I can see him doing it later though. Maybe it could be like green and really fat. The game took about 3 years to make, and man, if you were a kid back then that played Mario, your mind would have been blown. it was mainly the same like the first two Mario Bros, but instead it had a map system, non-linear gameplay, bonus levels with Toad, vertical scrolling, picking up shells, a flying mechanic, fake boxes, jumping fire, an airship level that moves around the world. Well, wait a minute, you can beat up Bowser's kids? Fast traveling, an inventory system, this fucking guy! Look, this game just, it just had a lot. And as for someone that's played through the entirety of Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and Lost Levels, hearing how much this game was praised for being fun just made me want to play through it even more blindly. This isn't a full playthrough though, so just keep that in mind. The game starts with the curtain rising up, as well as Mario and Luigi on the left and right. Luigi tries to assassinate Mario, but unfortunately it doesn't work. Mario looks up with an interesting looking sprite, and yeah, that's it, Super Mario Bros. 3. There's also no music to this, which kind of confused me at the start. Is there music to this? Is this supposed to be audio to this, and I fucked it up? I don't know. One player? Yeah, I'm alone. Nope, there is sound. Okay, having played through Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and Lost Levels, I kinda expected the whole NES trilogy, or quadrilogy, to be just linear gameplay and all this. This is not how every Mario game starts off.
That's what I'm saying!
So for the first level, the first world, you can almost immediately tell the difference between this one and the original Mario Bros. Game. I don't know, everything kind of pops out more, but it isn't too distracting from the actual gameplay. A few key differences here is that the level info is at the bottom, the background has more color to it, and the question mark blocks move from left to right. Piranha plants actually look like piranha plants this time instead of whatever the fuck. The Goombas had a nice redesign with mouths and I think teeth at the end. I don't know Goomba anatomy, I haven't studied that far yet.
This is the male penis and test.
Some other new things here are the set pieces at the back and also the ready to fly thing Mario can do. Ah shit, I was supposed to run, but never mind. They also have this weird wooden construction block thingy in this game, which was originally from Super Mario Bros. 1, where they just have staircases for no reason. Here's a lot more chunkier and looks like actual wood instead of... I don't even know what this is. The levels here are noticeably shorter than the first two Mario games. Mario 1 wasn't super long or anything like that, but it kind of dragged on sometimes. And Mario 2, oh my god, some levels are like hours. Literally, like, there's no time limit in Super Mario Bros. 2. It's theoretically possible to just spend forever in this game until an ionizing cosmic ray reaches your NES to just beat the game for you.
I won!
Going back to Mario 3's levels, I actually kind of like it short. It's long enough for you to at least struggle at some parts, but it doesn't disrupt the flow of the game, and it makes it more fun to speedrun in my opinion. And now we move over to the bonus chance section from the game, taken from Super Mario Bros. 2. It does suck to see that there's no flagpole at the end of the game, but then again, Super Mario Bros. 2 had you just getting eaten by a fucking eagle, so you know what, I can't complain. Whatever image you chose goes to the bottom right of the screen, and yeah, that's how most of the levels go in this game. The next few levels are basically the same thing, with this one in particular having a really noticeable change in song. I feel like I've heard this song before. Now the first thing I did in this game was just slide around for a bit because it's just really cool and like it's a new mechanic in the game. I'm gonna do it, alright? It's also not the first time we'll ever see this again. I don't know what other popular Mario game you see that you'll just slide around for a bit. Can I like kill a Goomba like this? I can. Oh. But other than that, it's a pretty normal level. I just spent the majority of it trying to use the fire card thing at the bottom right. You can't use it, you have to like add it up like the fucking roulette Super Mario Bros. 2 thing. But I was thinking of like Super Mario 3D Land and I could use it, so I just spent this dumbass amount of time trying to figure out how to do it. Yeah, timeout. How do I use this fire flower?
You stupid.
Another gameplay mechanic that's shown in this game is the P-switch, which I'm genuinely surprised was this early in Mario's timeline. This game really just had everything, huh? Wait, P-switches are in this game too? Now, of course, my dumbass already collected all the coins, so I couldn't jump up and see what's in that cool pipe, but that's nothing like a restart can't fix.
Are you serious, my brother?
If you're uneducated and don't know what the P-switch does, it basically just makes the coins into bricks. Pretty insane thing to do in an NES game, but I was able to look through and see the underground level, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it looks kind of boring.
Where's the pizzazz? Huh? Look at this place. I mean, what is the theme here? Underwater? It's boring!
But I don't really care for underground levels anyway, so peace. After that, the level becomes somewhat normal, except for these music notes and a little surprise. Oh, a leaf. Picking up the leaf will turn into Raccoon Mario, which is pretty cool because you can fly and stuff. I'm not really sure why they chose a leaf of all things, but I guess that's better than Mario picking up the dead corpse of a raccoon, so... There's some more music notes here with a star, which was pretty cool because, you know, you see that on the other games, but you don't see Mario backflip. So yeah, I'd say this is a pretty good second level for this game. 10 out of 10. Oh, I just flew for a second. Oh, how do I do that? No, wait. For the next one, I went to level 3 just because it felt right to me. I know you can skip over it, like, and go to the aces and level 4, but I'm just gonna play in numerical order, I don't care. This level didn't have anything too crazy except for these hammer bros guys, except they're not hammers, they're boomerangs, which I guess is kind of cool. Other than that though, there's nothing too interesting about this level. I did get hit twice though and lost my power up to an angry Goomba and a flying one.
Bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
And that's the end of World 3. I don't really know what happens if you actually match all 3 of the cards, but I got a 1-up anyway, so I don't really care. With that level out of the way, we can finally visit Toad's house to see what the hell's going on in there. For once, Toad actually does something in this game instead of just breaking the bad news to you like all the other ones.
Hello, Toad! Hello!
Most likely taking influence from Super Mario Bros. 2 in North America, Mario can go down and choose one of these 3 chests for a cool item. It's still kind of a dick move for Toad to keep 2 of them, like, what the fuck is he gonna do with it? I was able to get a mushroom, which is probably one of the worst items to get, and what's even worse is that for my first playthrough, I didn't even know how to use the inventory system, which is another crazy thing to have in this game. It just has everything, goddamn. After that, we move over to level 4, with its cool mechanic being that it auto-scrolls, as well as there being moving platforms that fall down once you jump on them.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, no.
Overall, this level does feel like a little bit of an increase in difficulty, but I guess it makes sense since it's an optional one that you can play if you want. Also, I think there was more to the level on the left, but I didn't care. I just wanted to beat the level. After that, we'll move on over to the bonus level, and I'll just let myself do the talking for you. Whatever this is, that is a huge toad, what the fuck? So yeah, this is one of its other bonus levels that can happen, which is where 3 things spin, you press a button, it stops the top one, and you just gotta line it up until you get all 3. Oh. Yeah, you can already see the issue with this. When you press the button, it doesn't stop immediately, it slows down a bit before actually lining up, which is just... I don't know if I just suck at this game, but I can't line it up, it's gonna be delayed randomly, so I couldn't get it. That was almost it. Can you give me something for that, Toad? No?
Fuck you, Toad!
After that though, we move on over to the castle level. Ooh, scary. The level design is mainly like the first ones in terms of gameplay, but the look is just so gorgeous. Like, everything just seems so much more cleaner, the lava's all bubbling and stuff. The way the fire just pops in and out just looks so satisfying. Oh man, this is already so cool. The only criticism I sort of have is that the fire bars in this game are replaced with these weird spinning waffle things. I don't know if they're doing it to be like creative or anything like that, but it just makes me miss the fire bars, man. Okay, leaf, that's pretty good. Hey, skeleton guy. Nice. As you can see, that was a Dry Koopa, a pretty decently popular Mario character that first got its introduction in this game. But then we move over to these falling spikes section, which sort of reminds me of Super C and how it did its thing at the end of the level. I don't know who got their idea first, but it's a pretty cool thing to see in Super Mario Bros. After that, we walk through a long ass hallway and finally make it to the first mini boss, nicknamed Boom Boom. He's ridiculously easy, even for like NES standards. As long as you just jump on his head 3 times and not get hit like I just did right there, you should be completely fine. Is this it? Are we done? Okay, cool. We just killed him. The castle and the locked door will break down on the map. I'm not sure why the door breaks. My only theory is that the question mark box we got before was actually a key for it and it just explodes. Either way though, we can backtrack or go on forth, and obviously I'm gonna go more forward, so we're gonna be doing level 5. I don't know, there is so much going on, I don't even know what to say. That is a crazy intro. I feel like my blind reaction summed it up perfectly, but all in all, this is a really good Mario game. I don't know why, but this level just clicked it for me, like the vertical scrolling, the way I can just jump up and down. I can walk off of water onto land, which is crazy for an NES game. Have you seen the other ones? I don't even know what to say to this, because it just feels like I'm playing Mario. And that's sort of my main takeaway with Super Mario Bros. 3. It feels like it just laid down all the groundwork for other Mario games to grow on with how simple and fun and interactive it is. Is that too big of an assumption to make on World 1 of this game? I don't know, man. Fuck you. On the map, there was a little card event, which I'm guessing was quick time, so I went over there to have a look. Now, instead of Toad giving us some weird rigged bullshit, it was actually a match 2 with 2 strikes and you're out. I was lucky enough to match 1, but I couldn't do anything else, so yeah, that was kind of a waste of a minigame. After that though, we can go to level 6 and see what the hell is going on over there. I don't know why, but this level sort of reminds me of 3-3 in Super Mario Bros. 1, mainly because there was no ground to it and you were just hopping around pillars. A cool thing here though is that there's moving platforms instead of just the usual falling ones from before. I was also able to get 3 1-ups from here, 1 from a block, another one from just collecting enough coins, and 3 for filling out the card slot on the bottom right. I was gonna go visit Toad's house, but I noticed this weird Koopa looking thing over here, so I went over to it. I thought it was like a mini boss fight or whatever, but it certainly didn't feel like one. When you beat the boss, you get a chest, which for me was a star power up, as well as this Firefly, which I accidentally picked up. After that though, I went over to Toad's house to pick the left chest. A leaf. Why did they add this?
Because, you know, trees, you know, They create air and oxygen for us, and it's a part of life.
Nah, I'm kidding. It's just a raccoon power-up in disguise. After that, though, we can finally go to Princess Peach's castle and... Hey, wait a minute. Oh no, it's terrible. The king has been transformed. Man, king... I probably should have read the actual storyline, but yeah, the Koopalings, Bowser's kids, has like a magic wand that transforms people into animals and stuff like that, so Mario's gotta go fix that up because Toad just gonna whine all the time, goddamn. After that though, we got a cutscene of Mario jumping onto a moving airship. I don't know why, but that's just so cool to me for some reason. The overall layout of the ship too is also pretty unique, with fire and cannons and bullet bills just going around, as well as a vertical scrolling that goes up and down, signaling it's just like, you know, a ship going up and down. The first boss in this game is Larry, and I tried hitting him with fireballs until I realized that didn't work, and I proceeded to immediately fold the entire boss fight. Oh, damn it. Okay, what do I restart? Oh, what the fuck? You know, I never knew why most like finalist levels always had airships, but now I know. Because it was in the first game when it moves around the board. This game is just explaining everything to me. I actually couldn't do it the second try, I fucked up, but luckily on the third one I was actually able to take down Larry. Once he's dead, you can take the magic wand back and fix the king to go back to his normal self. And from there, he'll give you a letter from Princess Toadstool, aka Princess Peach. I wonder if they'll ever use this in another Mario game. There's also a P-Wing here, which basically beats the level for you, and yeah, we made it to World 2. And I'm sorry to say this, but I gotta cut it here, man. These levels are way longer than I thought. Just give me a second to explain. When I first played Super Mario Bros. 1, yes, it was pretty long, but I mean, 8 worlds within 4 levels each, that's a decent amount. But I could see myself cutting it down since some levels are just repeats. Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels is way harder, but the premise is still the same. Super Mario Bros. 2, however, while it did look better, there were only 3 levels instead of 4. And there were only 7 worlds with 2 at the last stage. With that in mind, when I went in to play Super Mario Bros. 3 blindly, I did not think there was going to be this much content in an NES game that like looks good as well. And that really goes to show how timeless this game is. It doesn't feel like it's bound to its limitations. I mean, hell, I think it did everything it wanted within this game and made it so much more fun to play too instead of being challenging. There's no game over, you just restart the world, and there's so much content within one that I don't even mind playing a world again. It's just fun. It's easy to understand, the controls are great, every world and even level introduces something new. I would even go as far as to say that this game was way ahead of its time when it was first released. To think it only took them 2.5 years to actually make this just goes to show how dedicated they were to make a good Mario game. Now will I come back to make a video of me playing through the entire game? Yeah. Would it take a while though? Probably. Don't worry though, I am playing through every Mario game and I will release it eventually. When will it be though? Well, I guess you'll just have to wait and see. Hope you guys can understand, but yeah, that's basically it for this video. Peace.